there, Cinners, and welcome to this week's episode of Shortcuts, where we give you all the horror happenings for the week. Join your hosts, Sean O'Connor and Shannon Bushman-Montalbano, as we go over the books, the movies, the streaming, the events, and all the latest news, delivered right into your sweet little ears, all in under a half hour. You want to know about that latest movie that's dropping this week? We got you. You want to know about that latest novel from your favorite horror author? We've got you. You want Sean to give you a release date 3 years from now for a movie you've never even heard about? We got you. So sit back, tune in, and we'll take it from here as you listen to this week's episode of Shortcuts. All right, Cinners, here we go with this episode's week of Shortcut. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I forgot too.
Here we go. And take two. Hey, Cinners, how's everyone doing? This is Sean and Shannon of the Simple Cuts podcast, and we have the Shortcuts episode for you, and it is pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. It is not a lot of news, but it's a hell of a lot of trailers, some of which I'll actually put in the episode. But first and foremost, we want to welcome Shannon back. She just spent an incredible week at Busch Gardens riding friggin' roller coasters. And what's the name of their scary thing? What do they call it?
So it's called Howl O Screams or Howl O Screams.
Friggin' love that.
So there were a few rides that were actually shut down because Busch Gardens actually is kind of closed down. So there's certain rides that they they start the shutting down process, but they replace those areas with the haunted walkthroughs. So we did a couple of those. So we did a diner themed one where I guess it was overrun by bugs.
Oh my God.
Bugs, yeah.
Well, most New York City diners experience that on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this is back home.
By the way, New York City diners, we love you.
Yeah.
That was just a joke. Please, do not sue Simple Cuts.
But if you have a bug problem, please take care of it immediately.
Yes, please do. Please do. We want to see that A rating on the sign outside before we walk in.
Of course, there was a full-on clown one.
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah. Wait till you see some of the one photo that Maddie got. He just happened to look around the corner, and there was one already standing there. Bleh. Yeah. But anyway.
Wait, by the way, before you go on, because you mentioned it, can we give Maddie a shout out? So, Cinners, if you follow us on TikTok, and boy oh boy, I hope you do. It's at Simple Cuts Podcast. Matt was the one who put together that incredible montage of clips from the Books and Booze in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting accolade after accolade about how great that video looks, and I've been taking all the credit, because why give it to me? No, I'm just totally kidding. So I've been telling people, hey, Duality Productions, it's Matt Bushman. You gotta check this guy out. He's just a friggin' rock star. So Matt got to display his work on TikTok and he didn't even know it. And he's getting tons of accolades.
But yeah, no, he does incredible. He just understands lighting and angles in a way that I never will. I'll take a picture and it just looks like a picture. He takes a picture and it looks like art. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Way to go, Matthew. All right. So anyway, I just want to give Matty some accolades because he earned it and he deserves it. But all right, is this Busch Gardens the one that's in Williamsburg, Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. So that was as a kid, that place was almost like a utopia. You could go to Six, because Cinners, we're from New York, so we're from Long Island. You could go to Six Flags and you could go to Action Park. Holy cow! One day maybe we'll just do an episode on Action Park because that's a fucking horror story in itself.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, my God.
I believe it.
But Busch Gardens was this wonderland that you actually had to go further, go 4 or 5 hours away for. And they would be like, oh, if you like the roller coasters at Six Flags, those are for pussies. I think that was the commercial.
It might have been, because they are definitely not for the faint-hearted, for sure. There was some I looked at, especially there was one that my father and Matt went on, and me and my mom were like, nope, Nope. Nobody. Nope. Nope.
Ah,
I forgot what the name of it was called, but it's yeah, like they basically like you're like not even in a coaster, you're like in a line. There's only like 3 rows, so it's like a wide coaster, and you go over, obviously the click, click, click up, and
yeah.
then they put you down, and now you're looking face
But
down,
they stop
feet,
you.
yes,
Oh,
feet
no, come on.
dangling, and then you hear like I don't know, something like releases. You hear a, and then they fall. It's a
Yes, your
90.
will to
It's
live. That's what
a,
releases.
it's like my heart in my throat, but it's a 90-degree angle.
They can get fucked. No, you
Right.
don't like Busch Gardens? Fuck you. Are you insane? This is like Jigsaw thought this shit up.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
Busch Gardens, no.
And then immediately upside down, like the whole thing. And yeah, I looked at it. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I do scream no, 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 but that sounds cool as hell. But that is like, I would need the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
machine. Yeah, I got to trim like 30 years off of this experience right now to be able to even handle a second of that. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. 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 But there was other ones that we went on that are more like they call them like launch coasters. So like I want to say like there was 2 different ones that we went on. You're all of a sudden doing like maybe like 0 or 5 to 60 in like 2.8 seconds. So
My
those were fun.
my my good friend Joe, he went with his sons to go to Six Flags, and he was telling me about the launch coaster, and his words verbatim. I didn't go on it because I don't need my asshole to come out of my asshole. And the visual was so graphic, but it made perfect sense. So I was like, well played, sir. Well
Fair
played.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like my wrinkled skin. I would go on one of those launch coasters and then I would come off looking like a Shar Pei, just be like all hanging down.
I can't believe I have a voice from all the
Uh,
screaming that I did.
all right. All right. Look, I know people have not pressed play to hear about Busch Gardens, but I have to know though, on a scale of 1 to 10, the scare factor stuff, just like crazy good.
Oh yeah, they did a great job.
All right.
They did
Well,
a
good,
fantastic job.
good
I'm
for
sure.
you, Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I'm sure Maddie's gonna do another whole nother reel that he put together. Because again, I've given up taking photos and videos since he does it so well.
Well,
So
tell him to send it to me and I'll put it on our TikTok.
yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
Boop, boop.
All right. Well, welcome back. I missed you so much. I was
Miss
texting
you.
Shannon and I was like, "Where's my partner or my friend? I miss you so much." And she was like, "Who it is? New phone."
Yeah. Come back to work.
Talk to me about birthdays and anniversaries.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with the big one because I think this got re-released in theaters over in the UK because now it's celebrating 20 years. Came out in 2004. The beloved Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, snap, snap, crackle and pop.
Yeah.
Um, I am hopefully doing a review of the Steelbook Ultra HD Blu-ray release of this for our sweet sweet macabre daily. I'm just waiting to hear if they're going to give me one, so, which is
Fair enough.
important when you're reviewing Blu-ray. You actually need to have
You need to see that,
it.
yeah.
This movie is so good on so many levels. It
So many
is
levels.
horror royalty. It is probably, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's probably the best horror comedy ever made. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at you, American Werewolf in London, and just a couple of months ago I said you were the best, hands down, but I think I'm changing my mind.
Well, best. My God, words. Well, the best from the UK, maybe.
All right. Yeah, all right, fair enough. We'll look. It's weak sauce for sure, but we'll give it a tie.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but it's just so good. All right, so look, you know what? We're absolutely going to be doing an episode on that in 2025. So,
Hmm.
stay tuned.
Whoop,
What
whoop.
else you got?
All right. So this is actually another foreign one if you look at it this way. Wanted to talk about it because I personally love it. So
Okay.
celebrating 25 years. So I think it officially made its debut in 99. When it came over to the US, I really don't recall. But anywho, this one is Audition.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So this was a perfect example of a film where you're kind of like, what is happening? What's going on? Who is that? What is she doing? And then the last 10 minutes, like, it's like a
Everything drops
rug.
into place.
Yeah, the rug just gets pulled under you, and you're like, oh my God. So
Okay.
it's one of those movies you have to stick to till the end. So if you started this, fell off, please go back and watch the whole thing. Just suffer through it.
It is, yeah, it's one of those movies where like the first time you see it you're like, are they going to land the plane, and what is, if even is the plane, and what's going on, and then those 10 minutes happen, and then you're like, oh, the previous hour and 20, I'll gladly sit through that again. Like all of a sudden the entirety of the movie makes sense. That is a, I mean, that is a modern masterpiece.
Yeah.
Audition. Oh, so I'm not going to say another word about it because, Sinners, if you have not seen Audition, then no spoilies here. Go check it
Yep.
out,
Absolutely.
and then immediately call a therapist.
Yes. That one's from Japan, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I know I mentioned it was a foreign film, but I'm pretty sure that's from Japan.
Ooh, can I give a little sidebar? Crazy shout out to Horror's Greatest on Shudder. They just
Yeah.
had their Asian cinema episode.
Oh, gotta
Yeah,
watch that tonight.
it's waiting for you.
I gotta watch that tonight.
It's like, of all of the, of course they can't cover nearly as much as we would love them to, but the ones that they choose, like I think they do like 8 movies, they're all fucking
Ah,
bangers.
fire. Woo! So excited for that. All right, so I got two more left. So this one I'll admit I may have to rewatch because there's a lot of parts I don't really remember.
Hmm.
But it's celebrating 10 years, so I'm gonna mention it. Came out
Okay.
to 2014. This is Annabelle.
Oh
So
snap!
not the one that really started it all, right? Because this was in another movie
The
or
Conjuring,
The
right?
Conjuring. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but now this is the movie, not even the beginning, but just kind of like before The Conjuring, I guess. I'm trying to remember
Um.
the timeline with this one.
All right. The way it. Oh shoot. Yeah. Because and I know our listeners right now are screaming. They're like, "Hey, dum dums, it's this into this," but I just can't see it in my head. But there's a correlation that lines up film to film, and I can't
Yeah,
remember what the hell it
I know
is.
because there, I think there's one or two that I haven't seen. So, whatever the following Annabelles after this one are. So yeah, so I don't know if they went backwards, if they just kind of went all over the place, and they leave it up to you to piece it together. I can't recall, but
I like most of the movies. I think like Annabelle Comes Home is actually kind of cute because it's almost like gateway horror. It's PG
okay,
13, but it's clever and it's got some good scares. But if you have maybe some uh kids and adults who want to get into horror, this is kind of a good one to do because it's scary enough, but it won't send them over the falls. But I like those movies. I know comment section are going to be like, "You're not a true horror fan, fucking asshole," but I like them.
well, actually, speaking of little kids, I wanted to mention this one. So this might kind of be a little out of left field, but I saw the anniversary and I remember loving this as a kid. So this is a nice like little family fun one. Celebrating 75 years, if you can believe it. 1949 this came out.
I was in
This is
third grade.
Yes, you were. It's- this this is the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Wait,
So
is this
this was
animated?
yeah, it's Disney. So this was my introduction to the Sleepy Hollow.
Is this the
Be-
one where he throws the pumpkin down the covered bridge?
yes.
That movie
Yes.
slaps. That
Yeah.
movie's so good.
Yeah. So this was a fun, like I said, and I remember like it was fun, but it was creepy. But I remember Ichabod and Mr. Toad being funny. So it had like all those elements. So to if for all you sinners that have like little kids and you want to get them in the mood for Halloween, I think this is a cute one to watch. Because
That's okay.
like I said, I remember loving it as a kid, so I wanted to mention it.
Fantastic. By the way, I just had a minor fucking heart attack because I'm alone in the house and I closed the basement door and it just opened by itself. And
Oh my
I'm like,
god.
oh, so here's my murder. And there's Charlie walked in. My dog Charlie walked in. You sneaky, sneaky. He's over there right now. He's like,
It's like tee.
God. I was just like, I'm gonna get murdered on air, and then I remembered, no, I won't, because I have to edit and post these. So I would have just gotten murdered sadly by myself.
Oh
Aw,
no.
aw. All right, let's get to some movies.
Yes.
Okay, we have Sleep came out, that South Korean horror movie. I don't know if I want to call it a horror movie. I think it's more of like a psychological thriller slash horror. It's not like full on horror. It's like there are many different elements, but boy oh boy is it worth your time.
Okay.
Azrael, which I want to say Lowell Greenblatt, that sweet faced man over at Macabre Daily, reviewed and liked. That's good enough for me. Lowell likes it. I like it. How about that?
Fair enough.
The Substance I saw yesterday, and I was Nicole Wolverton. Oh, I'm sorry, renowned best-selling author Nicole Wolverton. How about
Woo.
that name dropping? We were DMing back and forth because she saw it yesterday as well. This movie is going to be so divisive, and it is absolutely not for everyone. Especially the couple that was sitting next to me, they did not enjoy the 2 hours and 20 minutes that they sat through.
But they sat through it.
They did, but these fuckers got up to go to the bathroom 3 times. I'm like, if
Uh,
you go up more than once, fucking leave. It's just, this is
yeah.
not for you.
Yeah.
You
Just
know,
go. Yeah.
I moved my, but by the way, first time in my life I ever moved my seat before the movie started, because during the previews, the woman next to me brought a fucking shopping bag that was like made of cellophane. So
Oh my
a
god.
shopping bag full of like sandwiches and shit for her and her girlfriend. So you know what I did? They seem like they're having a real good time. And I was going to be like, could you stop fucking around with that bag? So I looked and I saw that the theater was mostly empty, and I moved my seat and I didn't create drama because
Okay.
it
Good
was
for
an
you.
easy solution. You know what? They're having a day. Maybe they don't go to the movies a lot. Maybe they think they're in their living room. It's a problem. And I didn't want to fuck around with a cellophane bag for 2 hours and 20 minutes. But instead of being, instead of creating bad vibes, I just fucking moved and I had a better seat anyway.
Good for you.
Win
Good for
win.
you. It sounded like they were trying to have a picnic at the movie.
She had an abundance of treats. How much good on her? Okay, this movie up until about, so I said 2 hours and 20 minutes, up until about the hour and 59-minute mark, I was like, this is the contender for best horror movie of the year. It still is. It still is. But the without it's challenging without giving away spoilers. The movie in the last 20 minutes goes into like really like hardcore absurdity, you know?
Okay.
Almost like Terry Gilliam kind of absurdity, David Cronenberg absurdity, but it's purposeful. But I'm gonna shut up right there. But like the previous hour and 59 minutes was very much one movie, and then it turns into another one, and it all makes sense. Like
Okay.
the director really wanted to hammer home, and I've read some reviews that have said like, instead of using a scalpel, she kind of uses a jackhammer to get the point home, and boy oh boy, it's more like a fucking wrecking ball on a crane, but
Okay.
it lands. But I kind of wish I had seen the movie continue from that hour and 59 to the 220. I wish it had been like consistent, the vibe of it and what
Okay.
kind of movie this was. But you know what? It's still an fucking exciting piece of cinema. Oh my
Nice.
god.
I think
Visually,
I think Lowell reviewed that one too, right? Or
think
at
so.
least he just posted about it and he was like, "You're not ready for it."
No, no way.
No, nothing I say will prepare you for this movie, and I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" So
Just
yeah.
and because look, check me out. I actually got good at my job this week. Coralie Farga. It's no, I'm not still bad at my job. Oh, spoiler alert! It's Fargeat. Fargate. I'm gonna go with Fargate.
The, hold on, this is still the main person in the substance. You mean?
The director.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I can't say that.
She's so goddamn good. She directed this movie called Revenge. If you have not seen
Okay.
Revenge, oh boy. I mean, she's so stylized, but not like, well, I've got style and no substance. She got it all, and it's right there on the
Nice.
screen. So yeah, it's phenomenal. Go see it. Then you have Never Let Me Go with Halle Berry, directed by Alexander Aja. And that's it. So we're kind of like right on the bubble between falling into October, which is going to be an insane amount of streaming horror, a pretty
Mm-hmm.
decent amount of theatrical horror. But what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of horror. A lot of horror. We may have
Of all
to,
types.
yeah, we might have to expand our shortcuts into a little bit of a long cut for just for October. Maybe
Yeah.
tack on another 10 minutes because there's just going to be so much. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe do it twice a week.
Yeah. So we got to go to books now. And books are important because
Mhm.
we've got some friends on the list, actually, two friends. Let's start with Ariel Powers Schaub, her book, Millennial Nasties, which documents and goes in depth about the early 2000s horror scene and how viciously violent and sadistic it was, and how it's kind of like an overlooked decade. But Ariel is like, oh, no, no, oh, no, no. This book is making waves all over the place. All over the place. You know how satisfying and great it is when you see a friend's work getting picked up in other outlets? Fangoria's talking about it, Bloody Disgusting's talking about it, and it's getting a lot of heat online. So I'm so thrilled for Ari, and she's coming back to talk about the Blair Witch soon. So we'll you know,
We'll get in. We'll get
embarrass,
into it.
yeah, we'll embarrass her, and you'll be able to see it happen in almost real time. So because we're pressed for time, I'll go quickly. I won't do the descriptions. I'll just tell people buy these friggin' books. You've got So Thirsty. Rachel Harrison's take on a vampire novel. And boy, oh
Ooh,
boy. I mean, if you're not following Rachel Harrison on Instagram, you have to do so immediately. I've never met anyone who has more fun in my life. And she
nice.
documents everything. She's living a life. And I'm so jealous and I'm so happy for her. Angela Sylvain, who's coming on the podcast soon, her novel Chopping Spree just came out. So we got some, think Chopping Mall, but insanely better and fun and fantastic.
That's
Then,
exactly where my mind went to because I actually love that movie. It's so
right?
ridiculous. It's
You,
so ridiculous.
I mean, we're gonna do it. We're gonna.
Of course, we have to.
Then we've got Johnny Copton's Devils Kill Devils. So what would happen if your guardian angel actually turned out to be a guardian devil? How about that for a premise? That's
Jesus.
right. Johnny Compton, you don't know this yet, but you're coming on the podcast in 2025 as well.
You don't know yet.
And then, yeah, you don't know, but it's going to happen. And then we have, I mean, Tiger beats Sweetheart of the Month every month in a row almost. He only battles it out with Nat Cassidy. Clay McLeod Chapton's Kill Your Darlings
Yeah.
came out. And, of course, Clay doesn't need our help to sell his books at all. I mean, right now, he's probably running over the Brooklyn Bridge, throwing copies out to bystanders. But if you're not reading Clay, if you're not reading any of these authors, you're missing out because they're all fantastic. I mean, Clay is a friend, and we fully support his work, but it's not just smoke. If you're looking for scares, oh boy, I mean, Clay brings it. Clay
He
brings it
does.
deep. Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
scare the pajamas off you. So,
And he
so
does it he does it in a sneaky way too sometimes where you're
yeah,
like sometimes you can read it and then all of a sudden it settles in like and you realize what you read and then it's like that moment when like you watch a movie by yourself in the house. You could be okay because the lights are on, but then you go to bed this is what I often do because I'm an idiot. and then I just go to bed. And then all of a sudden all the shadows on the wall, I'm like, I'm gonna die.
have, let me know if this sums up reading a Clay novel perfectly. You're reading, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you go back and you're like, oh no, oh no.
So I said that like it sneaks up on you.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
wait
a
a
Clay
second.
novel. Oh, I love those. I love them so much. The novels and Clay. You know what, Clay? You too. You
Yeah.
big sweetheart.
Kisses all over your face.
Kisses all over your face. And then moving on to streaming, we have okay, In a Violent Nature is on Shudder. Now, did I tell
Mhm.
you I finally watched it?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you did not. What did you think of it?
I really, yeah,
I
really,
I think
really,
I think you texted me, but then like you didn't say anything else after that.
I really enjoyed it. Look, the car ride. Ooh, I don't want to spoil anything, but the last 20 minutes could have been 2 minutes. But the further I get
Yeah.
away from it, the further I get away from it, I'm like, oh, this is purposeful. The director is actually doing like kind of doing something here. I just haven't figured out what, so I have to rewatch it. But I kind of really, really liked it. You know?
Yeah, it's so I took it as because I know a lot of people kind of complained about it. I get it, especially when they stopped the truck. I kind of took it, and maybe this is not so much, but I took it as somewhat of an homage to, in a longer version of the end of the original Halloween from John Carpenter,
Yeah.
because it goes back to everywhere that he was, but you don't see him, right?
No.
When Michael Myers is gone, he's gone.
Well, you
And
very much know
but
where he
he
is
but
at
he's
the end
but he's
of the movie.
everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, I take back what I said. You're right. It's assumptive that you think where he is at the end of the film, or if he's even still alive. I don't fucking spoil anything. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you like you don't really know that until like the beginning of the second film, which was not Carpenter's intention. It was his intention to end it with now he's like you don't see him, so he's not there,
He's
but
everywhere.
he's everywhere now.
He's the Roy
Yes.
Kent of horror. He's
Yeah.
here. He's there.
So
He's
now
every
so
fucking where.
her just looking out into the woods like he's everywhere now.
I look. This ties into the other streaming that is that dropped this week, which is Apartment 7A. In a shameless plug, Sinners, please go to Macabre Daily and check out my review of Apartment 7A, the prequel to Rosemary's Baby. See, this is why I like In a Violent Nature. Because In a Violent Nature, let's be honest, it's kind of an extension of Halloween, but it's very much a remake of Friday the 13th. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like
Yeah.
they change a couple of things around, but it's almost a fucking beat by beat remake of Friday the 13th. So, so Chris Nash was like, well, I'm going to remake this movie, but I'm going to make it similar yet completely different. I'm going
Yeah.
to amp up some parts and downplay lo-fi so much, and it comes out, the sausage is made, and it's kind of its own unique thing.
Yeah.
Apartment 7A is just like, we're just going to take the story of Terry, who Rosemary meets in the laundry room in Rosemary's Baby, and we're just kind of going to duplicate the Rosemary's Baby story with her, and it's lifeless. It's just lifeless.
Yeah.
It's shot well, it's acted well. I love Julie Garner. I love Diane Wiest. It's for the eyes, it's a feast. I mean, it is just lit beautifully, and the sets are great. There's almost like this kind of homage to Son
Like
of
Suspiria.
Frankenstein, like
Oh, okay.
Art Deco Son of Frankenstein sets for some of the dance scenes. I did say dance scenes. This is almost a musical. Like, that was the one aspect of Apartment 7A that I was like, well, this is original, and I really love this. But then everything else was just like,
Okay.
all right.
Had no sustenance.
No, it's basically, I mean, the main character Terry. They should have just called it Terry's Baby. Just doesn't sound great. So Apartment 7A sounded a lot better.
Fair enough.
But look, I love that people gave it a shot. But here's the thing: nobody wanted to see a movie about Terry. Everybody wanted to see a movie about the castanets and the coven that's exposed.
Right.
That's exposed at the end of Rosemary's Baby. So the problems with this movie began in script. It was just the story idea was not the one that you should have done.
Okay.
Give us the coven and how they're just fucking with all of Manhattan.
Yeah,
Or
pretty much. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
how did the coven originate? That's an interesting story. So anywho,
I was actually wondering if that was part of it, but well.
I know
Oh well.
Oddity is on Shudder. Oddity
Yes.
is right now is the best horror movie of 2024.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say another word about it because we're doing Oddity with fudgesicles. I can't remember who we're doing Oddity with, but we're doing it.
At some point.
Thank God I write these things down. But anyway, we're going to talk about it more at length there. All right, let's do news quick because we have people from England that need us in a minute. All
Yeah.
right.
Like, literally in 1 minute.
All right, this is quick and easy. So Chucky got canceled, but they got 3 seasons, and Chucky's fun. So check it out on Sci-Fi and USA. But Chucky is no more. Hilary Swank is joining the cast of Yellow Jackets. That's great. That's more great acting talent for Yellow Jackets season 3. Good on you. Make 'em in a Row is going to star in a reboot of Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Don't know if she's going to be the cradle rocker or the mom. So don't know. But I hope they bring Julianne Moore back to get killed again. That would be great.
Because why not?
Yeah. Okay, Brooklyn Horror Fest starts shortly. I think in 2 weeks. And Fantastic Fest just ended. One of the movies that came out of that I want to put on everyone's radar, The Rule of Jenny Penn with John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush. It's getting wild accolades. So put that on your radar. Freddie Prinze Jr. Is now going to be in the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. So
wow, they grabbed him too? Okay.
That thrills me. And then,
Okay.
all right, so this one is, I'll get up on the soapbox a little bit. Danny Boyle is getting all kinds of shit because he let everybody know that he filmed 28 years later on an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and everyone is like, burn him at the stake. And I'm like, just shut the fuck up already. If he hadn't have said it, you never would have known, and you never would have known. So stop whinging, fanboy ass clowns. Just shut the fuck up. So there you go.
There you go.
Okay, and then we'll wrap it up with trailers. I'm going to put 2 online. Elevation with Anthony Mackie.
Run! This isn't about what I've lost. It's about fighting for what I have left.
I shut the doors, pull the curtains and hide. I've heard something moving somewhere outside.
I'm coming back. Promise.
Once you cross that line, they'll be there waiting for you.
I know.
No breath can tear us apart.
Run!
We're not meant to share the planet with those things. A lot more of us are gonna die. They're Earth's new apex predators, and more prey.
And Get Away with Nick Frost, which looks very fun.
So in 1824, the whole island quarantined itself until most people had either died or had turned to cannibalism.
Ho, ho, ho. Thank you for the info.
You're welcome, Daddy.
Gross. Can we buy tickets here for the ferry?
Where are you going?
We're going to Svolta.
You cannot go there.
We've actually booked a B&B.
Look, hang on. Here, have a look.
Richard,
Shush. All right, let's go.
To enjoy your time on Svalta. It will be short.
Thank you.
this is your mother's house.
Yeah, she was born here.
And is she still with us?
Sadly, no. She was murdered right there in her favorite chair.
Jesus.
Oh. Sorry.
Get up out of that chair.
What's going on?
We've come on holiday to a Swedish horror film.
I feel like we are being watched.
Is this about last night?
What happened last night?
What do we do?
I'm not going to be scared away by these people.
Bringing those people here was wrong. We will put things right.
Coming here was a big mistake for you.
Why? Well, we better get on.
I thought we were just going to scare them off. I love you, Mummy.
The English must be offered up.
Ever since we came to Svalto, we have felt nothing but unwelcome.
Our debt must be paid.
Welcome to Svalta. They are mostly harmless.
Everything is fine.
But I want to let everyone know that Cinners, Ryan Coogler's vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan, that trailer you absolutely have to watch. Hysteria on Peacock. The trailer was too long, so I'm not putting it on there, but you got to watch that. The Last of Us Season 2, again, not a lot of dialogue, heavy on the vibes. Check that out. VHS Beyond, you want to talk about vibes? VHS Beyond is damn near no dialogue whatsoever, but you have to check this trailer out because it will melt your eyeballs, and I cannot wait for this installment. And then Sam Raimi produced Don't Move. Check that one out as well, because if Sam Raimi's attached to something, we're there.
We're gonna be there.
How about that for wrapping everything up quick?
Woo! Yeah, look at you.
Okay, we got to go. England's waiting.
Okay, that's a cut. I don't know why it's a musical all of a sudden.
It's starting to become a thing. It feels good, right?
Yeah, it does. It kind of does.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Shortcuts. I hope you enjoyed hearing it just as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. If you did enjoy it, would you please leave us a review on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the bathroom wall at the local gas station, wherever. We'd really appreciate it. If you rate and review us, it goes a long way to getting the word out about Sinful Cuts. Can't thank you enough. Until next time,